Listeners, I have a question for you. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Oh wait, wrong franchise. My bad. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Channel Tracers Podcast. I am, of course, your host, Jay, and joining me, as always, are my two friends, Ryan and Tony. How you doing tonight, fellas?
I'm alright.
Love the enthusiasm,
I'm good.
buddy.
I'm hyped up on caffeine.
It's okay. He'll wake up as time progresses. But what are we covering today? Are we talking about Batman 89? No, we are not. We are actually talking about Daredevil Born Again. Or effectively, Daredevil Season 4? 5?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, 4.
Because 3 was the one that introduced...
Bullseye, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so it was 4. Although I will say, to anybody who is like, I never got into the Marvel Netflix stuff, you don't need to jump into this. You'll appreciate it more, but you don't need to. Just as a heads up, if any of you felt kind of overwhelmed and were like, yeah, there was too much Marvel stuff going on, and I didn't really check out all the extra stuff, which totally understandable. One of the main drawbacks, I think, of the MCU, I think, overall, is kind of they have this kind of homework mentality.
Yep.
Where, like, I mean, I don't mind it. We don't mind it at all because, we're nerds. We're going to watch this shit anyway, but casual audiences, you don't want to have to do homework just to be prepared for something.
Without, getting too much into detail and everything, I do think that this show handled that well, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because it had references in it that, if you know the universe, it's like, oh, hey, that's cool. But if you don't...
You're not missing... You're not missing anything pivotal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to talk about this. Actually, Daredevil was one of our, very first things that we covered on the original iteration of the podcast back when we used to do it as a live show. That was because, obviously because it was one of the first of the Defender series. And that one, unlike Iron Fist, we actually recorded all 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm. We were in a time where even if we didn't like it, we were still covering it for completion's sake.
Although we did like all 3 seasons of Daredevil. Daredevil and Jessica Jones were the ones where I don't think they had a bad season.
Well, both of them didn't have a bad season.
It's not as good as the previous 2, right? But it's not bad, right? Iron Fist season 1, you can objectively say is bad. Luke Cage season 2, you can objectively say is bad.
Yes.
Even
though I like the villain in that.
The villain's good, but the season overall is bad, especially where it ends off. It's just like, wait, how the fuck did we get here? We're not talking about Luke Cage. But yeah, so there is a lot to unpack here. We will probably talk a little bit about Marvel Netflix stuff in the beginning when we get into spoiler stuff, but that's for the main discussion portion. Of course, if you are familiar how the podcast works, of course, we can't start the episode off without first jumping right into the news with Brian. Take it away, Brian.
Well, okay, before we travel to Hell's Kitchen, we are going to a galaxy far, far away a long time ago.
Oh, because, I don't know if you included this, but recently, I think within the past week, I don't remember the gentleman's name. I wish I had wrote this down. But the guy who voiced the Max in the MTV animated series for the Max passed away recently.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that.
I believe it was last week. I don't remember the gentleman's name. Why am I shouldn't fumble. I should just Google this. But yeah.
I'm already Googling.
But yeah, he passed away recently. I heard about it because I was listening to a comic book podcast and they brought it up as part of their news. And I was like, oh, wow, dang.
Michael Haley?
Michael Haley, there it is. I know it was Michael something.
Oh, no, I didn't have it in the news. My apologies. But The Max was definitely an underrated show.
It was great. It was a super faithful adaptation, and it was up there as one of those weird, cool experimental shows that Liquid Television had, along with stuff like Aeon Flux.
Yeah.
But it was legit, the comic brought to life with that show. Very, very little different.
The Max is the only real thing that he's done.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the actors who provided voices for that show didn't go on to do much voice work after that, except for the guy who did Mr. Gone. Mr. Gone went on to do anime voice work.
Well, Michael, interestingly enough, was an extra in the 76 King Kong. He was an extra in the 78th Grease.
Huh.
Then he did The Max. Then he provided a voice for the original Diablo video game.
Oh, cool.
And then he appeared in one episode of a podcast series in 2022. It listens from the radio.
Well, yeah,
What?
I really enjoyed the Max cartoon. That was actually what introduced me to the comic in the first place, along with a lot of other people. But I thought it was really cool, and when I heard about it, I was like, oh yeah, we definitely got to bring this up
All right, cool, and I'm glad you did. And he will be missed.
for sure.
But to the actual news. So apparently, Star Wars Celebration Japan is this weekend, and I didn't even know that was a thing. But they announced a few little like smaller things that are somewhat exciting, and thought we'd go over a few of them.
Okay.
First of all, most of them are updates on things that we have, like Mandalorian and Grogu. We finally have a date, May 22nd, 2024.
Okay, cool.
And they showed a con-only trailer for it, which featured an X-Wing pilot played by Sigourney Weaver, and an adult yoked-up version of Rhoda the Hutt.
Isn't that
Which,
wasn't that Jabba's kid from the Clone Wars cartoon movie?
yep. Well, now he's grown up and is yoked up, like, very muscular.
It's
But-
funny because like if you know Hut culture, like Huts actually start off very muscular, and it's like the opulence and stuff that gets them fat. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Roman emperors, in a way.
And in the movie, he will be played by none other than Jeremy Allen White.
Oh, from The Bear and Shameless and Iron
Yep.
Claw and all that other stuff. Cool, good for him. That's funny. Cameron Monaghan is in Star Wars, and now Jeremy Allen White's in Star Wars. Who else from
Yep.
Shameless are we gonna get in Star Wars?
But Ahsoka Season 2 got an update. Hayden Christian will be returning.
Oh, nice.
And it was confirmed Ray Stevenson's replacement as Dalen Skull.
Yep.
It will be Rory McCann, aka the Hound.
Oh, nice.
Oh shit.
No, I mean Ray Stevenson carried that show on his back, so they needed
Yeah.
they needed a really good big time actor. The Hound is a good choice.
Indeed.
He's got the presence.
Also, we never watched it, but Rebuild the Galaxy got renewed for another season.
What is Rebuild the Galaxy?
That's the one that we reacted to the trailer for, where it's retelling the story.
with the Legos.
Yeah, but like it's like an alternate universe
Yeah,
because
yeah.
all the Legos got jumbled up and then rebuilt.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how we get stuff like Canon, Darth, Jar Jar.
Yep.
Well, that got renewed for a second season.
Cool.
And so did Young Jedi Adventures, their kids show that they're doing.
All right. Good for them, I guess.
But in the two biggest news is we got an update on Sean Levy's Star Wars film.
Okay.
It's officially titled Star Wars Starfighter.
And Sean Levy's the Adam Project dude, right? That works with Ryan Reynolds all the time.
Yep. Adam Project,
Free
Free Guy, the latest Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And if you noticed in the Adam Project, there was a lot of time showing him in the ship, so I have promise for this.
Oh yeah. No, and he's a good director. Like I'm definitely curious to check it out.
And also, it was confirmed the lead for this film, and it will be a different Ryan.
Gosling?
Yep.
Well, if you're not gonna get Reynolds,
At least get a Ryan.
yep.
Well, also, I think in Blade Runner, he proved that he can be the lead.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
the sci-fi
I
story.
thought he was awesome, dude. Not enough people saw Blade Runner 2049. Fucking,
No.
that movie was amazing, and like that is what showed me that Denis Villeneuve could handle Doom or Dune. I said Doom, but I meant Dune with the sandworms.
Could you imagine?
Although I
Denis
think
Villeneuve.
I think he could do a Doom movie with all the hell shit. I think
Well-
that I would watch that.
Well, hey, it's got to be better than the Rock Doom movie.
I mean, anything is better than the Rock Doom movie.
But anyway, so the last story is I think I saved the best one for last. Is we've been wondering there hasn't been an animated show from Star Wars,
Ever since they finished Bad Batch, yeah.
yeah, like a non-anthology animated show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they announced a new one, Maul, Shadow Lord.
Oh, so this is gonna be like in the in-between period, like before he meets back up with Kenobi and they have their final duel.
Yep,
when he's
it's gonna
running
be
the criminal
about
underworld. Interesting.
it's gonna be about his time where he denounced being a Sith, and is running the criminal underworld.
Is Filoni behind this? Is Filoni involved?
I believe so.
Good, because Filoni is the only person I trust with this kind of thing, because Filoni loves Maul.
And so is Sam.
Oh, nice! They got Sam Witwer. Good, because he did a great job as voicing Maul in the Clone Wars cartoons. He's the only person that I kind of like think is like the best fit for Maul in terms of like animated voices.
Yep.
Nice. Love Sam Witwer.
But
good dude.
Also, there was comic and video game stuff announced too as well. If you want to look it up, you can. I just mainly went for those two. Like,
what was the video game
this
stuff?
Is more.
I'm kind of curious. What was the video game stuff?
A new turn-based game was announced.
Interesting.
I think it's a turn-based strategy game.
Okay.
Also, the latest one, not Bounty Hunter.
Outlaws.
What is it called? Outlaws. I think Outlaws got DLC.
Oh, okay.
But and then comic stuff was announced, but yeah, the news has been going on for
I heard
long
Dr.
enough.
Afro's coming back, and she's gonna have like a book teaming up with Luke. I saw that in the solicits.
Nice, because they've always rocked it with the comic. But anyway,
all right,
that's it for news.
So yeah, now that we're done with the news, we're gonna go ahead and jump into Screen Time. Screen Time is a segment of the podcast where the guys and I all talk about the different pieces of pop culture that we have consumed in between podcast episodes. That can range from anything between comics, other TV shows we don't have time to cover or might cover later, movies we might cover later, or just aren't really kind of fruitful enough to have a full podcast conversation about, YouTube videos, video games, and more. So for me, I'm gonna do what I usually do and just quickly plug my Comic Chaser episode. It's another giant-sized episode, so if you haven't checked it out, when you do eventually watch it, if you decide to, grab a snack, sit back, and listen to me yap about this big-ass stack of comics that we got this week. It's a really good week for comics, man. Fucking Ultimate Wolverine issue number 4 blew my mind. There's a last page reveal that I'll probably tell the guys when we go on break for a trailer talk. But it's pretty fucking insane. And also we got Godzilla versus the Hulk this week, because they're doing those 4 one-shots of Godzilla versus different Marvel characters in different decades, and this one was set in the 70s. So it very much felt like a one of those episodes of like the Lou Ferrigno Hulk TV show. But another cool thing is, because Marvel owned the license to Godzilla in the 70s, they actually used a villain from those Godzilla comics in that Hulk book. It was really cool. The latest issue of Absolute Flash also came out, and it was really fucking interesting, with how they're exploring Wally's powers. And also we got to see Baby Grodd. He looks adorable. He looks kind of like Mojo Jojo, because he's a little monkey and his brain is exposed.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
He looks a little bit like Mojo Jojo or Mojo Jojo, if you want to be accurate. But yeah.
Which, by the way, if you didn't hear, in that shitty CW pilot that they were doing, the crux for them splitting up was they accidentally killed him.
What? That's
Yep.
wild. You can't kill my man. You can't kill my man. Mojo Jojo.
Yep, they kill him, and so they separate.
Mojo was it was probably the most iconic character from all of the Powerpuff Girls. He has the bad kung fu dub speech affectation that I love so much.
Well, also apparently by this time they were young adults, and Bubbles was drunk.
And he's a monkey. Monkeys don't live that long, so he was an old man monkey. Oh no, poor Mojo.
Yep.
Damn.
That shit was horrible. If you ever want to check out that trailer that leaked online.
Oh man, that's rough. That's rough, buddy. In other news. Oh yeah. In other news, other stuff that I've been checking out. I watched. We did react to the trailer for it, but I did finally get a chance to check out the first handful of episodes of My Hero Vigilantes. And I love it. Vigilantes, I've talked about it with the manga, and I feel the exact same way. Because, there was a point in My Hero, during the Dark Deku arc, where I just stopped reading for a bit. I eventually came back, and I finished it. I do like My Hero. But, Vigilantes is a series that I like better because Vigilantes feels much more, and this is gonna sound weird, because My Hero is very Western influenced, but Vigilantes feels much more like a Western superhero comic. It has, like, Deku has a lot of Spider-Man and Peter Parker mannerisms and like personality quirks, pun intended. But like the Crawler, that dude is just straight up Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that guy, and I also just love that he goes around just in officially licensed All Might hoodies as his hero disguise.
On top of the All Might figure is a man who beats the shit out of people.
My man, Knuckle Duster. His power is these hands. They are rated E for everyone. I love him.
Man's backstory. Oh
yeah, and also his best friend / kind of sidekick love interest type character is I think her name is like Double Jump. It's something jump. Her power is literally that she can jump real good. She's like a underground pop idol.
Oh, Pop Jump.
Pop Jump. I know it was something jump.
Yeah, that girl. She has her goals. I have nothing but respect for her.
Yeah, no, she's all about the grind. I love her. Like, but yeah, this is a much more grounded. It's a much more grounded take on the My Hero world, and honestly, it's kind of what I wanted more of from My Hero, because like, as great as My Hero was for a good chunk of it, and I do love it overall, like, My Hero kind of lost the plot when they went too shonen with it. Like, I loved when it was like school stuff, and they were just being kids, learning about this world where all these weird powers exist and shit, and all the different little systems of the world, like getting your license and hero agencies and all this other stuff. And with Vigilantes, it more shows kind of like a little bit of, if you watched or read the villains arc in or My Villain Academia, the villain arc in My Hero, it very much addresses kind of the issues that a lot of the villains have with the hero system, and about how it's kind of like not corrupt, but very much distorted and biased against certain quirks that don't seem flashy or cool.
Well, in thing though, Jay, Vigilantes takes place quite a bit of time before the main.
I know it takes place before MHA, but I'm saying like it addresses a lot of the problems the villains talk about during the My Villain Academia, like how broken the system is, and like it just kind of shows how long like those problems have existed. Because yeah, you're right. It takes place like 10 years before My Hero, because we actually see a young Aizawa and his friend who eventually becomes the teleport guy, who has the cloud powers. But yeah, it's a really cool series. I think it's done really well, and it's also very funny. Like it had a lot of like comedic elements to it that, again, My Hero kind of lost after a certain point, where like it dove way more into the shonenness of it all, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing. I want to make that perfectly clear. I do like My Hero. I'm not a My Hero hater. I'm just saying Vigilantes gave me more of what I actually wanted from this world,
which is fair.
But yeah, if you do like My Hero, or you fell off of My Hero because you didn't enjoy the more over-the-top bombastic shonen bullshit that happened in the later portions, check out Vigilantes. I think you'd enjoy it. Also, I've been playing even more Marvel Rivals, and I've been playing a lot of Emma Frost as expected, and I finally have a tank I can use consistently now because Emma's great. I love choke slamming people and kicking people into walls. It's fantastic.
Nice.
But yeah, that's me. So Brian, what about you? What media do you want to highlight that you have consumed in between podcast episodes?
Oh, well, as I'm starting to work again, podcasts have become my new friend, because you can listen to them while you work sometimes. And one of the ones that I was going to mention last time, but I forgot, but I've still been listening to it this week. It's called Destroy All Monsters. Kill Every Monster. That's what it's called. And it's hosted by two guys called Dylan and Aram. And what it is is they will eat. It's a D&D podcast, and each episode they'll bring in a guest, and the guest will specifically choose one monster or quote-unquote monster from the monster's manual, and they will go over the history of that monster. They will go over like what exactly they are, and then if the guest feels like they've been mistreated, which let's be honest, Wizards of Coast, most of them are, they will then like give their suggestions of how to improve it. And then after all of that, they'll do a quick one-shot where Dylan is the GM and Aram is playing a PC, but then the guest is playing the monster.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice twist.
Yeah. And they cover a wide variety of things, like the Lich, Giants, the Oobleck, if you've ever heard of that. It's a goo monster, basically, that can take the form of people. It's usually used as like a minion for a Mind Flayer. Very scary stuff. And in the episode that I'm listening to right now, they actually are doing dinosaurs, and they got a paleontologist to come in and like talk about it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. But all of their guests are like figures in the TTRPG sphere. Just this guy happens to also be a paleontologist at the same time. I forgot the name of it now, but he did say that he is consulting on a source book that is being worked upon right now, where it's like caveman times for a D&D world. So you'll still have like elves and orcs and stuff, but reading is outlawed. No one can count over 9, and dinosaurs are roaming around.
So America, but with dinosaurs.
But anyway, so I've been listening to that, and then at work I've been treating breaks as like a way to like just watch a little bit of anime. It used to be Devil May Cry, but as we found out in the last episode, I finished it. So I started watching a little anime that was recently added to Netflix, because Netflix is the best place for me to watch anime right now, because you can download some of the anime onto your phone, and so you don't really need to have a good signal. And the one that was just added, a little anime known as Rerun.
Oh, you started Sad Elf. Nice.
Yes. Excellent, Brian. Prepare for sadness.
And the wonderful fed up with the bullshit character that is Fern, who doesn't. Everybody loves Fern.
Fern. She's just out here trying to look over her.
She's trying to take care of her grandma, but her grandma is being stubborn.
Yeah.
And her grand is just a really old elf.
Yep.
And very eccentric. Very eccentric.
Yeah, I've seen like 4 episodes now, because I've only been watching it during breaks.
Also, you're gonna love our boy Stark. Stark is best boy.
I have not been introduced to him yet, but I know that he's.
You'll see Stark. Don't worry.
He's on his way.
He's definitely a U-coded character, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the last episode that I watched was the one where they're cleaning the ocean for the festival.
Ah, yep.
And Fern has to wake her up early in the morning.
Yep. That's a classic.
But when I ended it, they agreed to go on the like 10-year trek to go past the Demon Lord's castle to get the spell to talk to the dead.
Nice.
Oh yes, that. Oof.
But anyway, last thing is Doctor Who is back. I know I didn't realize it, but apparently it comes out on Saturdays now. And I watched the first 2 episodes. I really like it. The first one is the one with like the retro futuristic robots that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It introduced the new companion, and she's kind of like a mix of early Donna and Martha minus the simping.
Nice.
She's an actual factual nurse.
Cool.
So it's like the doctor now has a nurse that he travels with, and they work pretty well. She like calls him on his shit, because Ruby was just like a ride or die friend.
Oh yeah, very much like a sister. Like a little sister type. Like, yeah, cool, we're gonna get into trouble? Let's get into trouble.
Well, if Ruby was the little sister, this chick is like the big sister.
Ah.
Where it's like, you can't be doing that type of shit. Like, you can't take someone's DNA without their... And also, a couple fan theories were right about, like, the overarching story and, like, why she's a companion. And also, the second episode was the one with the Cuphead-looking guy. Who, by the way, voiced by Alan Cummings.
Oh, nice.
And I think I can say this because it's been so long, you guys might not remember. But fans were kind of right about his character, but still, it was really cool. It took place in 1952 in Florida.
50s Florida man.
They do address the whole racist issue.
Of course.
Like, the doctor even looks at her and he's like, yeah, even you would probably be considered black at this time. And she's like, but I'm not. Because if you remember, she is of Indian...
she's Indian descent, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they work well together. 2 episodes in, I'm excited. They are and I will say this, they are continuing the Mrs. Flood mystery.
Oh, interesting.
What? But I want to know.
What is the deal with that lady? How does she know so much?
It cannot be just like typical old person knows so much trope. It cannot just be that. She has to be like one of those new deities.
She's either one of those god characters, or she's like an elder of the universe, like a to borrow a Marvel term, like a living tribunal or eternity or some shit.
Oh my god.
I don't know, but the mystery deepens with her in this new season. I'll just say that. And also with the whole Cuphead episode, they get very like metaphysical and like kind of like break the fourth wall a little. But let's be honest, that's not the first time that this doctor has done that.
Yeah.
In the Beatles episode, he specifically looked at the camera and was like, "You think we're not gonna get out of this without doing a dance number?"
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shooty is continuing to be a great doctor. I don't care what people say. I like him as a doctor. And the fact that he cries and feels emotions, I think makes him a deeper, better character.
It's a nice change of pace, because, like, the doctor... he's not necessarily stoic, because he has shown... He's a very empathetic being, but, like, it's very rare that we get to see the doctor emote like deeply.
Yeah.
And also just act goofy when he wants to act goofy.
Oh yeah, because he does. I'll just say this: in like one of the first times that we see him in this season, he pulls a move that is very bad, but he pulls it off in a very oopsie type way.
Huh. Nice.
But yeah, so I'm continuing to like it. And hopefully we can cover it when it's over. It looks like yet again it is just going to be an 8-episode season, so...
Okay.
Just been on a kick of, like, just 8-episode runs.
Which, hey, I'm not honestly complaining, because it's easier for us to manage.
I'm not complaining either. Kind of noticing the pattern.
Yeah, I feel you. So is that it for you, Brian? We can move on to Tony? All right, Tony, what about you? What do you want to highlight in terms of media that you have consumed in between podcast episodes?
Well, other than, like, the occasional YouTube rewatch of things, what's taking most of my time is the other Paradox interactive games that will help me in my back working towards my Mega campaign. Learned how to play EU4 in Victoria, and the EU stands for Europa Universalis. And gents, I've come to an interesting conclusion.
Okay.
The Mega may take longer than I anticipated.
I mean, it's called the Mega campaign for a reason, right?
Actually getting it off the ground is going to take its time, because I'm taking my time to learn all this.
Well, it's better to go in knowing the systems and, go in half-cocked and watch your country like implode. I could make a joke here. There's a joke like right there, but I'm not going to.
But you know what the amusing part is playing these 2 different games? The fun part about at least EU4.
What's that?
They allow you to actually make a custom nation feature.
Oh, cool.
And the most hilarious thing with this custom nation feature, you could just pick any point in the map, alter the culture of that particular region, and you could do some funny shit with it.
Oh, nice.
Because you know what dumb stuff I did to test it out
What?
initially? So I decided to play around in my neck of the woods with a custom nation. Didn't get that much success. Then I decided to really play with it, to really have some alternate history nonsense. I decided, you know what? Let's have a random group of Japanese people just land on the west coast of North America. Let's see what happens. And the initial family that ruled chose Sendai lasted a good chunk of time before the revolts happened. And at current, Cho Sendai has most of Oregon, like the coastal part of Oregon, and a bit of Northern California in its territory.
Oh, dang.
And all the indigenous tribes hate my ass.
That is to be expected.
They have formed military coalitions to beat me up. And they have 3 times, to the point where I had to basically swallow my pride and say, okay guys, I don't want you to keep beating me up. What could I give you to make you stop beating my ass? And you know what all they wanted? They wanted money. Say, yes, give, and I have to pay through the nose. Because it's not just like 2 or 3 dudes in this coalition. No, it's like 8 different tribes beat my ass together, and they each want a cut of that pie.
Oh, dang.
Like I said, with the exception of 2 alliances that I have, the other tribes in the area fucking hate me. And then playing Vicky 3, jeez. I'm having fun with Vicky 3. I like playing Vicky 3, and it's an insane thing to say because most people who play Vicky 3 absolutely hate it. And just continuing down my path of learning the game, I chose the Japanese shogunate because that's how I just tend to learn things, apparently. And the first couple of times, I failed miserably. And then I slowly started learning more and more about the economic system, all the fun stuff. But you know what's the one thing I hate about Vicky 3 combat?
What?
Especially if you're an island nation like Japan, you need boats. Lots and lots of boats. and when you're just throwing money at things, you don't have the money to build said boats. It's just overall pain. But through this pain, I am actually learning and applying what I have learned and just putting it into practice.
Oh, that's how it works?
That's part of learning all this. You can come across some interesting stuff. Because after some of my runs playing as Japan, I was finding some bits of success. Where I'm actually like, hey, I'm actually doing stuff. I'm succeeding. And then the US is like, yeah, fucking hate you. You're domineering. And I'm like, wait, I didn't even do shit to you. Or to fight my neighbors because I want to just beat them up for whatever reason. Just for the sheer shits and giggles of it. Just having it ultimately be nothing on both ends.
Damn.
Where they have more ships than me, but they don't navally invade, or they don't fight me on my home turf, and I can't go to them to beat them up. And if I try to beat them up,
You just get landlocked?
they sink my ship, and then I have to go back home. It is so much embarrassment on everybody's front, honestly.
That's
Trying to
rough.
beat them up, and then it's pretty much shame on them because they're just like, we're not even gonna do a damn thing to fight you. You just kind of suck.
Damn,
It's not even
that's even more disrespectful, not being acknowledged at all.
yeah, and at the time, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna give Japan a break. Let's play a bit in my neck of the woods, because Victoria 3 takes place in the 1800s. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to British-run Oregon and Washington. Let's see what happens. And I was actually finding marginal success. I was building up infrastructure. Everything was going great until underneath my nose, Washington and Oregon were bought up from underneath me.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
In my territory, and I was so excited because my infrastructure was being built so perfectly. I had something in the works in Oregon, and then the US was like, okay, now, yoink. And I'm like,
That's America, baby.
fucker. It's bad enough that I'm a subject of the British Empire, and my liege did say, hey, We decided to sell parts of your territory to the U.S., and a call would have been appreciated, but no, apparently not. My rulers decided, yeah, you don't need this land anymore. It's the breaks, buddy.
Dang. Well, I'm glad to see your progress is going well. Anything else you want to highlight?
Well, I did catch at least. I'm up to date with Gojuger.
Nice.
And I'll keep it as possible. Especially with episode 9 coming out. Well, that came out today. And then we'll get through fan subs by Sunday or Monday. We're introduced a character that's to Goju Wolf and a new villainous character, Raiden, Ring Hunter Garyudo, where he murked one of the Universal heroes. Yeah, just shot the man in the back. And he has his own weapon called the Tegajun, which is based off of the Queen of Raiden, and you want to know the Universal hero that was helping out the Gojujers actually being a team? Take a wild guess.
Don't know.
Here is your first hint. It is a very classic Ranger suit. In fact, you can say that it's more phenomenal.
Oh, is it from MMPR?
Yeah, it is Tyranno Ranger.
Oh, nice.
From
the OG Red. Nice.
Where the Universal Warrior version of Tyranno Ranger is a Sentai archaeologist.
Oh, dang.
And he taught our team the meaning of friendship and teamwork in team roll calls with the power of Amu Rice. Too bad he gets shot in the back by the Ring Hunter.
Dang.
Who I will say is our Red's older brother.
Oh, cool.
And is just one evil bastard. And I will say this ahead of time before your plan watched through with me for all the episodes we have at current. You will notice that each of the members of the Gojujers, except for Goju Wolf, have personal weapons that are also what make up their various versions of the Tegasword mecha. It's a toy gimmick thing. But in episode 9 is when Goju Wolf gets his weapon, because his brother basically roasted him to the point where, like, yeah, I don't want to fight for the rings anymore. What's the point in fighting? That classic trope. Gotta give it to Raiden. They're actually playing the long haul, especially their queen. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, I'm all done.
Alright, cool. So, that pretty much wraps up our screen time segment, which brings us to Trailer Talk. Trailer Talk is the segment of the podcast where our guy Brian here has gathered together 6 brand new trailers as of the recording of this video. And we will, through the magic of editing, take a quick pause and react to those trailers. So you guys can take a quick second, pause the video right now, check out that playlist down in the description below, and watch those videos. And as soon as you unpause the video, we will have already seen those trailers ourselves and give you guys our rapid fire thoughts and reactions on said trailer. But in those brief moments between pauses, please enjoy this word from our non-existent sponsors. And we're back. Okay, really solid batch of trailers this week, and man, like, some of them we got like super hyped for. So where do we want to start?
I guess let's start the one that probably least excited for.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably end with the big comic book related one. We'll save that for last because we'll probably yap the most about that one.
Let's start with winter, spring, summer, or fall.
It was cute. You know, I'm a huge Jenna Ortega fan. I will watch anything with Jenna Ortega in it. Enough said. That's all I need to know.
Yep, and it looks like it's a cutesy YA rom-com. It is
also,
based
does it take place in like the 80s? Because she was like using a cassette deck. It has to take place in like the 80s or early 90s. Because like I don't think anyone in the 21st century uses a cassette deck.
Or unless she's one of those like YA protagonist quirky.
The quirky hipster. but dude, she's like way younger than us. She wasn't alive. By the time she was alive, they probably didn't have a landline in her house.
I don't know. But I don't know. I think it takes place in modern time, but the plot is following a chance encounter, Wonderkin Remy and music of sex slacker Barnes become intertwined in each other's lives as winter turns
All
to
right,
spring.
so is Remy the guy or is Remy Jenna Ortega? It's like
The two find themselves falling in love, but when Remy's heading to Harvard in the fall,
okay, so Remy is
the
Jenna
young
Ortega.
couple are forced to reevaluate what's truly important to them. Yep.
Yeah, I was confused for a second because I was like, that's the one thing that's confusing about unisex names is like, is that is that the girl or is that the dude? Because like, when you say the name Remy, I immediately think of, well, one, my dog, and two, Gambit.
Also, didn't know that we clocked that her dad is the dude from NCIS Miami, but her mom is Hermione Lodge
Where is she from?
Riverdale.
Oh, Hermione Lodge. Oh, Veronica's mom. Oh, nice.
Yep.
Cool.
Also, crazy chick, Foxface from the original Hunger Games.
Oh,
Isn't it?
nice. All right, moving on. Benedict Cumberbatch is in a messy divorce in this
Roses.
This comedy, The Roses, and geez, man, like
you thought,
dude, this shit has some really fun, very very dry, very British humor, but like normally I don't like to spoil jokes, but oh man, this line had me dying. They're at a dinner table, and he goes, she's talking about how it's infused with some ingredient or whatever. It has a little bitterness, and he was like, Benedict Cumberbatch's character is like, yes, she likes to leave a little bit of herself in everything. And then he goes, sometimes he leaves his cock in me, and I can't even tell. And I'm like, yo. Man, she was trying to send Doctor Strange to the multiverse of sadness again.
Yep. But which is funny though, because she's in the Marvel universe too.
Oh really?
Huh? Yep. Olivia Colman.
Yeah, I know. I would say I know it's Olivia Colman. I didn't know Olivia Colman was in the Marvel universe.
Known for the great series Secret War and Secret Invasion.
Oh, that's why I didn't know, because I didn't watch it because it was ass.
Yep. She plays the daughter of the British Howling Commando.
Oh.
But
okay.
She was head of MI6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the same director, Jay Roach, as the Meet the Parents series and the Austin Powers series.
Yeah, I saw that I saw in the thing it said from the director of Meet the Parents / Meet the Fockers.
Yep, and also the Austin Powers series.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely has some like very British humor in it. I want to watch it.
It's actually a remake, believe it or not.
Oh.
The War of the Roses, starring
like
Michael Douglas.
Like the British conflict between the Lancasters and the Yorks.
I believe that's what they named it after, because it was such as you can see, such a conflict.
Yeah.
A messy conflict.
The original movie starred Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
Oh, that makes sense.
Came out in '89.
So we go from Hank Pym to Doctor Strange. Nice.
Yeah, true. But also, they aren't the only ones in the cast. Andy Samberg.
Yeah, Andy Samberg. Our man fucking Jake from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And we were just talking about Doctor Who, and who do we see but Shooty?
Yep. Also, Kate McKinnon, who's very horned up for Doctor Strange.
100%.
Even though she's married to Jake.
100%. She said inner thigh. She's like, I'm just kidding. And then she just fucking, giving him the eyes and shit.
And mouth, I want to fuck you.
Yep. I was like, I can read lips, madam. I know what you said.
Oh, yeah. And her lawyer is Allison Janney.
Yep. Which she gives Allison Janney is the perfect actress to play the bitch lawyer. Like she gives off that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, indeed.
But yeah, that one looks fun. Like I don't think it's one that we'd cover because we don't really do comedies for real.
No.
But like.
Also, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you watched The Great.
I did.
Aunt Elizabeth is in this movie as well.
Oh shit! Which, if you haven't watched The Great, you should definitely watch it. It's a Hulu comedy series about Catherine the Great. And if you don't know anything about your European monarchs, Catherine the Great is one of the horniest monarchs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
She has it's notorious that she has like a whole fucking like series of network of tunnels to lead to her secret sex dungeons, and she would host like orgy parties and shit. Catherine the Great was a wild bitch.
Yep. But
Russians are built different.
Indeed. On to another film that probably we won't cover for the podcast, but based on how it looks, might be on our year-end wrap-up.
Yeah, no, I actually, it might. It depends on what's on the schedule. It could be something worth covering because it looks like it might have a lot of emotional depth to it.
And that is, of course,
yeah, the life of Chuck.
Which you want to talk about?
We got debated last week. We got debated last week. Was it last week where that trailer was on the trailer shot?
I don't think it was last week. But,
was it week before last?
But anyway, you want to talk about MCU casts? We're continuing that.
Yep.
With Tom Hiddleston, Ejiofor, Karen Gillan.
Yep. And of course, like Mike Flanagan stables, like Mark Hamill,
Kate Siegel,
homie that played Robbie, I think is in it as well.
Raul Coley. Yep. Yeah. Huh. Also, she's not a Flanagan mainstay, but she was in House of Molly C. Quinn.
Oh, I love Molly C. Quinn.
Yep. She was in Castle. She was Bloom in the Nickelodeon Club, and she was also Supergirl in that one animated film.
Yep, she was Supergirl in the Batman Superman Apocalypse.
Yep. But she's playing Chuck's mother in the flashbacks in this.
Nice.
Also, I didn't see this name in the cast list, but Nick Offerman.
Oh, cool. Like,
he's going to be the narrator for the film.
Somebody who, like, I think Tony and I will get a big kick out of this film is two people who are huge King buffs and, like, you know, have learned a lot about, like, not just his work, but the man himself. So it'll be interesting to watch this movie and be like, huh. Okay, that makes sense. Because I definitely got that same kind of experience when I saw the Spielberg movie, even though I couldn't remember the name of it for the life of me. The Fablemans.
Yep. But this one looks good. It's going to be very trippy.
It also is like, it's more dramatic. It's, you know, it's not a, which is, you know, something we haven't really seen Flanagan. I mean, we have seen Flanagan do in, like, Bly Manor was very dramatic, but, like, it still had horror elements to it.
Bly Manor had horror elements to it, but by the end of it, it was just a story.
It was a love story, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is more purely dramatic, so this will be interesting to see Flanagan's take on it.
Yeah, which also, if people didn't know, it's not the first time that Flanagan has adapted a Stephen King novel.
I mean, yeah, he's done Dr. Sleep. He's like he's been the go-to. He's also done a couple of the Stephen King Netflix movies as well. He's been kind of the go-to Stephen King movie adaptation guy.
Yeah, he also did Gerard's Game.
Yeah, yep, Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game, starring, oh my God, Bruce Greenwood and Carla Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yep. And if you don't speak actor, Bruce Greenwood is the voice of Batman from Batman Under the Red Hood and Young Justice, and Carla Gutierrez
and Fall of the House of the Usher. And
Carla Gutierrez is you know, she was also in Fall of the House of Usher. She was the fucking Death, but she most people our age would know her as the sexy mom from Spy Kids.
Which, her character, I found out, was only like 26, even though she was supposed to have been a spy for 10 years.
But Carmen and Judy are like, Carmen is at least 10 years old. I know Judy is
exactly.
like 7.
Exactly.
That doesn't add up. All right, well,
yeah,
whatever.
But anyway, the film looks like the cinematography.
Also, if you haven't seen Gerald's Game, you should totally watch it. And if anything, take your lessons. Take a lesson from Gerald's Game, and be prepared when you decide to try and do some freaky stuff to spice up your relationship. Safety precautions are very important. All I'll say. If you don't know the premise of Gerald's Game, I want you to go in blind. But that little warning right there, that should tell you a little bit.
But yeah. He's also using the people that he uses music.
Is his wife in this movie? He puts his wife in everything.
That's a Katie
Siegel.
Which is so weird because there's also Katie Seagal.
Yeah.
And there's Katie Siegel. I think she plays one of his teachers because her character is Miss Richards.
Nice. All right. So now moving from stuff that is a maybe in terms of covering on the podcast to a hell yeah we're covering on the podcast. Sandman season 2. Now, I do want to make it perfectly clear, although none of the allegations for Neil Gaiman have been fully substantiated and proven, we do want to make it known here on the podcast that we believe victims, and it honestly is not looking good for Neil Gaiman out here in these streets. Because
the man will not shut up.
And with all the stuff that's coming out, it is just not looking good. So, Netflix has understandably pulled the plug, but Sandman was already in production, so this will be, unfortunately, because honestly the show was fantastic, the final season of Sandman. But it looks like from that trailer we're going to be covering a substantial chunk of the series, so it'll be very interesting.
Oh yeah.
I will say though, well, I don't want to go too deep into the drama or controversy, but like, I watched a video a few weeks ago talking about some of the stories from the victims, and like hearing about some of them, and if you remember the Calliope story from Sandman, or if you've only seen the show, the Calliope episode, it makes it even more super fucked. So
because the man clearly took the wrong lesson from it.
It's not even took the wrong lesson. He did that shit. He did that shit exactly.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So to explain to people real quick, I promise this isn't gonna be a long tangent, but the Calliope story in Sandman talks about how the muse Calliope was captured by this author who was struggling in producing work, and he would repeatedly assault her in order to be inspired and like gain his work, and he would coerce her and promise her things and then like say that she'd be freed, but then he'd lock her in a room and force her to do things. And in the testimony from a lot of from some of the Gaiman victims, a repeated motif is being locked in a room, being forced to do things by a famous author.
Fuck.
Yeah, so again, nothing has been entirely substantiated. Right now it is hearsay, so I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna completely throw him out to the wolves just yet, but it is not looking good for Gaiman. So I totally understand ending Sandman where it is, but I am still looking forward to this final season.
He keeps his mouth open and won't shut it, and like has blamed some of his activities on his tism.
Yeah, that was a good look. Blaming your sexual deviancies on your autism that's wild shit. There are plenty of horny degenerate people that don't have autism that can still control themselves, and there are plenty of people that are horny and degenerate with autism that can still control themselves. Shit, we're on a call with one.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Yep.
Okay, motherfuckers giving just being on the spectrum of bad rap.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
That shit.
But yeah, I just wanted to address that real quick because like
no, I totally get it.
Because like I want to support the show because the show is good, but I want to make it perfectly clear that it, like, while I'm not gonna like burn my copy of Coraline or Sandman or any of that shit, at least until I know for sure he's the scumbag that they're painting him as. But it's not looking good for Gaiman out here. But moving on to a comic adaptation that we are.
No, before that.
Oh, before that, yeah, we have one more. That's right. Oh,
before that, another final season.
Yeah, final season of a show that we've loved and we've covered every single season of. So we'll actually be able to complete this one.
Yep.
Which like there are very few shows that we've actually been able to fully complete. I think the only one, besides the one season wonders, I think the only one that we will actually have like an episode for every season, even though some of those episodes will be lost because they were on the original channel, is Stranger Things, because we've covered every season of Stranger Things. But yeah, Blood of Zeus, season 3, the third and final season. And we were talking about this off mic, but honestly, with the pacing of the show, and we talked about it in our episode for Blood of Zeus season 2, which you should go check out if you haven't already. It was a great episode. Like they did so much in it, like that, like they could really only get one more season out of it.
Especially because the way that it ends last season was just like, oh fuck.
And man, you want to talk about oh fuck? The Titans are back, baby. Great Grandma Gaia is done with everybody's shit.
Yep, and said, fuck you, we need to restart from zero. I'm bringing back your granddad / father for some of y'all.
And he's going to teach y'all it's a lesson.
Daddy Kronos about to spank y'all with his scythe and punish you for castrating him with said scythe.
No, they didn't castrate him. Oranos was the one that got castrated.
Oh yeah, Oranos was castrated by Kronos. I reversed it. My bad. Anyways.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. I want to know what's gonna go down with Heron and Seraphim, and like, you know, what alliances are gonna be formed, how this shit is gonna resolve itself. Like,
Poseidon dead.
Poseidon looks like he got. Yeah, he looks like he got. We don't know. That's just how the trailer framed it. But if so, rest in peace, bro. Side. Percy can take your place. It's cool.
Yeah.
And we don't know yet because I'm trying to Google it to see. But it looks like they brought in our boy, underrated actor Peter Stormare.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like for Kronos.
Yeah.
Cause like I was like, I'm like, I recognize that voice. I play Supermassive games, although he was really only in Until Dawn for real.
But he's been in a lot of.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no shit.
It was not Peter Stormare. It just sounded like him.
No, even bigger.
Oh, pause.
Alfred fucking Molina.
Oh shit! They got Doc Ock. That's wild.
Way to end your fucking series.
Right, man. Hats off. Hats off.
Indeed, but we're excited. If you couldn't tell.
You want to go to another level of excitement, though? Let's talk about something fantastic. Holy
Indeed.
shit, man.
Wait.
We got to talk about something fantastic. It is time. Clobbering time, in fact. Oh, man. This, you know, normally we don't double dip with Marvel trailer stuff, right? Because a lot of the times, especially with Marvel is super guilty for this, is that with second trailers, they show way too damn much. Which is why the Thunderbolts trailer isn't in this list. I know some of you guys are wondering, you guys reacted to the Fantastic Four trailer. The Thunderbolts trailer is out too, why didn't you react to it? Because that shit showed way too much.
It was the final trailer, and lately Marvel, with their final trailers, gives so much shit away. Like the Deadpool one gave away, I think it gave away the Channing Tatum reveal.
No, it gave away X23.
Yeah, X23. That's what it gave away. X23.
Yeah, and it gave away a lot of other stuff. But I get why they did that with the X23, though. Because they said that part of the reason why is because they wanted the actress to be able to go to the red carpet. Because if she had gone to the red carpet without showing the trailer,
it would have. People would have already figured it out. Period. So might as well.
Yeah. But anyway, they also showed other though the spoilery, and it's just like fuck. And also, basically, they gave away all the Thunderbolts one. Basically, gave us all of the villain.
Yep. So we skipped out on that one, but what we did not skip out on is Fantastic fucking Four.
Oh my god.
Oh man, like, because the first trailer, it was just a teaser. It was like, you know, we just got a little concept footage, so we didn't really get to see much. It didn't really tell us much, so we felt okay watching this trailer, and I'm glad we did, because like it really got to showcase a lot more personality for the Four.
Especially Johnny.
Oh yeah, and like Johnny's my boy. That is my spirit animal right there. That's my dude. And like Joseph C. Quinn's delivery when they dropped the news, like in the trailer about Sue, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be the best mom ever, and you're gonna be the best dad." Oh, okay, never. No, I'm lying. You're out of your depth, buddy. And I'm just yeah, no, that's perfect.
Jay paused it, and we were like, "That is perfect. He is."
Yeah, I said it's like that is perfection. Just perfect job.
No, that's 100% a Johnny delivery right there.
Oh yeah, indeed. And also this kind of confirms something that people were theorizing. If you go back and you watch the first trailer, there's a scene where you see Sue in a sweater.
Yeah, tied the baby bump. Yeah. Also, this had my theory brain going, and you know what I think is gonna happen. I still think Galactus is gonna eat their world, and Franklin is gonna be born in the 616.
Ooh.
So
I could see that.
That's what's gonna tie them together, and so I think
actually, I have a crazier theory.
Okay.
Kind of like how the Asgardians after Thor Ragnarok are in that ship with the Warbound.
Yep.
I think a certain ruler of Latveria would take the world displaced Fantastic Four and claim the reality bender child for himself.
Interesting.
Which will lead to Secret Wars.
Interesting. You think that they'll, instead of using Owen Reese, they'll use Franklin?
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense.
No. I'm with you. It definitely fits. I'd be down, honestly.
And Franklin does have a history of creating pocket realities.
Yeah, we we all lived through the '90s. We all saw a big titty cap.
Yep.
we did.
Also, just thought about something. We all are. We do a show about TV. We know TV and we know tropes. How many times did they say in that trailer
Family.
that the Fantastic Four were gonna save us, and that Reed said, "I promise I'll save you." God.
Yep. Their world is fucked. Their world's fucked.
Yeah.
Child Ball and Galactus are gonna cook their asses.
Yep. And for all you feet gooners out there you go. We got some Galactus feet pics. Enjoy that.
Yup.
Wait,
But it also kind of confirms that they're doing like the comics where he can control his size.
Well, yeah. Which I think is gonna be interesting. I wonder if they're gonna do the whole elaborate like Doomsday Machine thingy like from the '60s. Cause like in his original appearance in the comic of Galactus, he has this whole like convoluted big machine device thingy that he uses to terraform the Earth so that it's consumable for Galactus. Cause he doesn't just nom on it like the Galactus pastiche from the Tick.
Yeah.
Because,
Also, we got to see, like you said, the new Silver Surfer.
Yep.
And I like the fact that she's a lot more like monotone than even the Lawrence Fishburne one.
Oh yeah. Like
Because in that one they portrayed Silver Surfer like the tragic. I have to do this.
Yeah, it was because like they missed the plot for that one for the second movie. Because like in this one he's aware. I definitely feel like this is gonna be more true to the comic where like Shalabal has been not brainwashed, but her memories of protecting Zenla and in this case for her universe Norin Rad will be like suppressed, and like interacting with the Fantastic Four and seeing that family unit will like reawaken those memories in her, cause her to betray Galactus, but it'll still backfire. And I think she's going to sacrifice herself in order for them to get away, and then when we get to the 616 we'll see Norin.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because
also, we got to see finally it stretch.
Oh yeah, the stretching looks good. It wasn't like I mean, as much as like I praise Netflix One Piece for all the good they did, it did not look as terrifying as Netflix One Piece. It actually looks pretty good.
now, granted, Reed has the benefit of jumpsuit,
Yeah.
but still, yeah, you're right. We only saw a little bit of it.
But it was enough. It was
very promising.
Yeah, it was enough to show that they're not skimping out on these effects. They're hopefully paying these hard-working effects people.
Yeah.
And
also,
Herbie good.
Oh man, Herbie's reaction to the news was adorable. I love that. I love that Herbie got to react.
Yes.
And like,
And also,
if you're familiar with Marvel Rivals, for those casual people who might have only been familiar with the Fantastic Four through Rivals, Herbie does mention in that game that he does love to babysit the Richards children.
Yeah. Also, we got to see what leads to that scene in the first trailer of Johnny like falling.
Yep.
It's because he tries to chase Silver Surfer outside of the Earth's atmosphere.
Yep. No,
and she just.
Well, it's not even that like she gets him or anything. Like you said, it's outside of the Earth's atmosphere, which means no oxygen, which means no fuel for flames.
And then while
also
he's falling, she just
back too.
Yeah.
She just double taps him.
Yep.
He's like, I know you're falling, but you pissed me off, so I'm gonna hit you anyway.
You also tried to sexually harass me, so
Probably.
Because Johnny has.
Let's be real. We all know Johnny. It was a sexy alien lady. Johnny definitely sexually harassed a sexy alien lady.
Yep.
Well, we don't know. We may know a Johnny that may have acted like that, but we don't know this Johnny.
No, look, if he's Johnny Storm, I don't care what universe it is. Johnny Storm will flirt with anything that is alien and female.
Yeah.
I mean, he also fucked Doom's fiance in the comics. So.
He fucked Doom's fiance
Yeah.
the night before Doom's wedding.
Yeah.
He fucked a Skrull princess. He fucked an Inhuman princess. He fucked a slime monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny's just the Captain Kirk of the Fantastic Four.
He really is, man. He's gonna boldly go where no man has gone before, deep in the alien cheeks.
Oh yeah, indeed.
But yeah.
But
I'm excited, dude. Like,
But can this be with the fuckboy of Hell's Kitchen?
Oh, that's a tough question. A fuckboy off between Johnny Storm? No, see, Matt wins that just off of sheer experience, because Matt's older.
But it shouldn't just be left up to experience, but also that is the toughest debate ever.
See, power scaling fuckboy level is a whole different. See, it's a whole different experience.
Because Johnny plays up the celebrity while Matt plays up the sympathy card.
Matt, see, I always talk about Johnny is how I act. Matt's game is very similar to mine, except our disabilities are different.
Yeah.
And also, given his power set, the heightened senses also helps.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
We're also similar to you, Jay. He'll sometimes downplay it to get around. Like,
yeah.
You told us a story about your girlfriend's dad.
Oh man, that's a funny story. So for the audience, so this was many moons ago. I was in high school, probably like 10th or 11th grade, right? Like and it was one time where like we were working on a project or whatever, and this was like after school, so I had to go to my girlfriend's house, and like she was all nervous. She's like, there's no way my dad's gonna like let you come over or whatever. It's like, it's okay, we'll talk it out. And then like she mentioned that like I'm in like a wheelchair or whatever, so like we're gonna like I'm gonna need like help up the stairs, because they have like their house, like there's steps going up to the front door. And he goes, oh shit, he's in a wheelchair. Oh yeah, that's cool. You could let him in. We'll help him out. Like don't gotta worry about nothing. It's like, really? What? And like they're cool with us just doing our homework. Well, they're not in the house. We're sure about this? It's like, oh yeah. As soon as I mentioned you were in a wheelchair, it's like, all right, bet.
Say less.
I will leave the rest of that story to your imagination, listeners, because YouTube and demonetization. We want monetization in the future, but
indeed,
leave that to your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of my disabled fuckboy stories, let's go ahead and move on to the main discussion, which is the Marvel Universe's favorite disabled fuckboy, Matthew Murdock, aka the Daredevil, the man without fear. Yes, he is. All right, so spoiler-free time. We're gonna start off spoiler-free. The first discussion point I have written down is like we've all seen the Netflix series, right? The first 3 seasons. Going into this, what were you guys' kind of expectations, and what were your first impressions from like of the series, like when it first started? I'll go ahead and start. I had very high expectations. Daredevil is one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. In terms of Marvel street level, he's like number 2. And in terms of Marvel heroes, he's definitely in the top 5. So especially when I hear, Charlie Cox is back. They got all the people from the original Netflix series. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm not gonna lie, that first episode threw me through a fucking loop.
Yeah.
We talked about it in screen time when the first episode had dropped. But as we kept going, they really found their footing, and I feel like they did a great job. They definitely did a good job establishing the dichotomy between Matt and Daredevil, and also setting up Big Willie as a deuteragonist for this season was a very interesting choice.
Yeah, that's one of the things I kind of like about this particular season. It's seeing the juxtaposition of these two men, bitter enemies, locking horns in the more acceptable way.
Yep.
And against their own to just default into just whipping each other's asses.
And this season definitely does not lose a step. It in terms of quality from the original Daredevil series. It has all the same great action, cinematography. Hell, they stepped it up even a bit in some situations.
Oh hell yeah. The primal screaming?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Charlie Cox gives it his all in this season, man.
Yeah. Honestly.
Same with D'Onofrio.
Yeah. Honestly, without trying to spoil ratings or anything, I'd say that this is better than half of Daredevil.
Yeah.
The original run.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would say that. I do really like season 2. Season 2 is fantastic. I actually
Well,
think
see,
season
the
2
thing is
was
with
like the
season
best
2
season. Mhm.
Well, see, the thing is with season 2, though, is if you got to remember, season 2 was split into 2 parts.
Oh, that's right.
The first part was the Frank part, and then the second part was the Elektra part.
I like the Elektra part. I like the Elektra part a lot.
I liked
actually.
it at the beginning, but at the end of it, it kind of got a little too out there.
Which reminds me. Side note, just for like just a continuity check, real quick. Was Elektra ever resurrected? Like, I know she was killed by Bullseye, but
I think when we left it, if I remember correctly, her body was missing.
right, they could still do it. Cause I think that actress who played Elektra was phenomenal. Elodie Young or whatever.
Yeah, she said that she'd be down for it.
Dude, she was great. And the chemistry she had with Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Like-
yeah, I won't deny that.
But yeah, no, this season was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I also like that it. Cause I think this a problem that I had personally. I can't speak for you guys, but like, in the Netflix version of in the Netflix series for Daredevil, it felt very kind of unbalanced in a way between Matt and Daredevil. But this feels very much more so that both are intertwined a lot better. Like, it doesn't feel like half of it is because like every Netflix season felt like half of the season was Matt, half of the season was Daredevil. And granted, spoiler alert, he does like it does do the thing that the Netflix season does, where most of the show, at least for this first season, this first half, quote unquote, he is Matt, and then towards the end he puts on the costume. But it makes a lot more sense, and it's more balanced out. And we do get glimpses of Daredevil even when he's more supposed to be Matt in this
And also,
season.
I will say that this handles a trope that we don't like here at the Channel Titans podcast, but does it in a well way.
Yeah, and also a thing that I think Born Again does better than Netflix Daredevil is, and no, this is no fault of Netflix Daredevil, because honestly, it's a more of a product of the fact that Marvel TV really didn't communicate well with the MCU, so they didn't really get a chance to do this well. But Born Again does a much better job of feeling like, yeah, this takes place in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because one of my favorite guest characters was a complete utter surprise.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you think it was a surprise for you? Like, I'm not. So the funny thing about those particular episodes is both those episodes were a surprise, because like that week, all of a sudden they just dropped 2 episodes instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
But
And the most astounding thing, at least to me, is they took the approach. They didn't really go back to like Netflix showrunners until essentially reshoots, because for what they were able to cobble together, they Frankenstein what they did before a lot of the original cast came back and after the original cast came back.
Yep.
And from what they created, they actually did something spectacular, because can kind of...
You can tell, especially in the first 2 episodes. Like, like they're like even in the first episode, there's a very obvious shot where this is a reshoot, because it looks like it kind of reminds me of Cap 4 with some of the scenes with Sam, where it's like, oh yeah, this is clearly just a green screen here.
Yeah, and
also let's add in an action scene for action scene's sake.
Yep.
And let's have doubles for actors that for obvious reasons cannot be there, or just we don't have them on hand.
Yep. But yeah, so overall, it's really good.
And I will say that the stories that they adapted were adapted super well, like extraordinary.
Yeah, like 1-to-1 in certain cases, and I was like, oh well, shit.
Yep. Also, they did certain things like smaller decisions really well. Like in the Netflix one, they always used to use his you could hear heartbeats thing as like a plot device, basically, so that he could tell when somebody's lying or not. But I like that they incorporated it even in the scenes where it's like not has to do with lying. It just sets like the mood.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to talk about some of the things that this poor man has gone through, do we want to get into more spoilery stuff at the moment, gents?
Yeah. So I just want to wrap up with saying that the series, the Born Again season 1 is very good. If you are a fan of the Netflix show, you will absolutely love this. But if you've never seen it, you will still absolutely love this, especially if you like gritty, grounded superhero like action.
Yeah, but I will say that to some people who might hear that and like cringe because we've had a lot of like gritty for gritty's sake stuff out there, it still has levity even though it's gritty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
absolutely.
also, it's not like this is characters that aren't supposed to be gritty that are gritty. Like, you know, turning Superman gritty is cringe because Superman's not a gritty character. Yeah. Matt has always been a gritty character. Well, not always, because when he first came out in the 60s, he was super silly and kind of goofy, more like an Errol Flynn type. But once Miller got his hands on him, it was never the same. All gritty all the time. But in the best way possible. Love you, crazy Uncle Frank.
He does have some like things to him because he's not Bruce Wayne. He's more Dick Grayson.
Emphasis on the dick.
And let's actually look into the dynamics of a hero and their arch nemesis, since they're the deuteragonists.
Oh yeah.
Of this story.
So spoiler free, D'Onofrio fucking kills it.
Yes.
It's so funny. Now that he's like come the definitive kingpin in my head, every time I read dialogue with Wilson, I have to read it with that like slight Shatner pause that D'Onofrio puts in his dialogue. You know what I mean? Because he has
it has to be in that cadence that D'Onofrio speaks as Wilson.
You have to understand, I love this city.
Yeah, because it used to be like the 90s cartoon voice in my head.
Yeah,
but
no.
There's something where I had
Michael Clark Duncan was it for me for a long time. Rest in peace. Because Michael Clark Duncan was an amazing king. Say what you want. Yeah. Say what you want about Ben Affleck's Daredevil, all right? But there are a couple of things that they got perfect with it. Fucking Jon Favreau as Foggy Nelson, perfect casting.
Absolutely, 100%.
And Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, perfect casting.
And you know what's crazy to me? No hide nor hair of that race change back in the day.
Yo, nobody gave a shit. Nobody complained at all. That's so wild.
Also, to be fair, that was also pre-Twitter days.
No, but still,
I don't care what you say. I'm still calling it Twitter.
Yeah, true. It is pre-Twitter, but also like, you know, purist comic fans existed even pre-Twitter. So like, it is kind of funny that nobody cared when Michael Clark Duncan like. It's because he did a great job, so nobody gave a shit. But like,
maybe a couple old heads hated it, but it's just some old heads.
Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about, again, spoiler free, we'll get deeper into it when we get into the spoiler section, is one thing that I absolutely love with this show and this adaptation's particular change to the comics that I think is a huge improvement is Vanessa.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you are a comic fan who's read Spider-Man, 80s, 90s Spider-Man stuff, and like 80s, 90s, even up to like current Daredevil stuff, Vanessa has always been a plot device more than a character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like legit, this is I think the only adaptation of Vanessa that we've seen where she doesn't have a mysterious illness
or is traumatized by the actions of her husband.
Yep.
And has to be parted off somewhere else.
Yep.
Or is killed after running away from finding out who he truly.
Wait, when did that one happen? Oh, Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Or
that Kingpin had the goofiest design ever because he had like a big body and a little baby head.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they also have their son involved in crime. Oh.
Which
in the comics,
which they kind of like have replaced their son with a new character.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about. We'll talk about him. I got thoughts.
But also, I just want to say real quick that I can't believe at one point they were going to recast her.
And also, I just gotta say, it is so weird that the positive relationship on display in this season is the one between the villains. Like,
Yeah.
like it starts off rocky, but like they get their shit together. Matthew, on the other hand, good lord.
But also,
Like-
I'll just say, especially when the shoe drops.
Yo, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good lord.
I mean, if you really think about it, I kind of half expected some of that shit to happen because of his decision making.
I mean, to be fair, Matt, like, you know, this is also where I like very much vibe with him. Matt has terrible taste in women.
Absolutely.
Matt has terrible taste in women,
Mhm.
and Matt has terrible decision making when it comes to his relationships. Again, something
And,
I completely sympathize with because I have been there.
But you know what's the crazy thing about that? And would it technically count as a spoiler? Him meeting Heather wasn't even his fault.
Yeah, that's Kristen. That was all on Kristen. Which, fun
Yep.
fact, I was very confused because, like, Kristen McDuffie, Heather Glenn was also a character, was also a Daredevil girlfriend. She was Daredevil's girlfriend in the 80s after Karen left.
Mhm.
She was a doctor, but she wasn't a psychiatrist. She was like a nurse. But, like, it confused the fuck out of me because Kristen McDuffie is Matt's girlfriend when he goes to San Francisco during the Mark Waid run. So I was like, wait, you're not dating Kristen? Foggy was dating Kristen? Huh?
No, he was trying to rizz up Kristen.
No, I think they were a thing. No, they were a thing.
No, he was trying to rizz her up.
Well, she clearly has feelings for him because you
Yeah,
could see how they were. Yeah, but yeah, maybe.
I think that's part of the reason why they bonded.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but I will be like I think Tony's right. I think he was just trying to rizz her up.
oh, got you. But yeah, like
Okay,
it confused
Like,
it
the
confused.
first episode.
Mhm.
So to kind of help you get a bit of context, because I still remember it, even though I saw the first episode like weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
I remember vividly that Foggy was talking up Kristen because he's like, oh, my case is going well. I'm about to drink the night away. It's going to be great. And really just when he talks about his achievements, when he's really intoxicated, that's when Karen and Matt kind of like, oh dear God, he's making that joke again.
We have to save our friend. Yeah, I remember now. But yeah, so you know, it's just really funny that the quote unquote like positive, healthier relationship is betrayed by the Fisk in this one.
Mm-hmm.
They're also the only couple to go to therapy.
I mean,
Well,
to be fair, it's a conflict of interest if Heather therapizes herself and Matt.
No, but
Yeah.
therapists can go to
Oh
therapy.
yeah, every therapist has a therapist. But you know,
but the thing about the situation is also how they kind of resolve their differences involves.
Yeah, it's not very
One
healthy, but we'll get into that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, that's enough for spoiler free. We really have to dive into spoilers now. So please go watch Daredevil Born Again.
Yes.
It's only 8 episodes. You
Nine.
will 9.
Nine.
Yeah,
Nine.
it's 9. Yeah, because it was 18 originally. They split in half. 9 episodes. Once you see the ending, you'll understand why it was split in half. Because I think that was the right call, especially after seeing the finale.
Although I really want us part 2 right now.
But I think,
Yes,
but also
absolutely.
they were filming back to back, so we know we'll get it soon. Like, isn't it? We're getting it in the summer.
Well, I think they're still filming it, or they're like just wrapped filming right now. But we are getting it at the end later this year.
Yeah, I remember hearing it like that we were gonna get it like in the summer or like early fall, something like that. But anyways, go watch it. It's great. It's spoiler time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
first thing I want to talk about is I love that they had the White Tiger story was 1-to-1.
Oh yeah.
Like, I wasn't shocked
And-
by any of it because it happened exactly like the comics. Except the fact that the only thing that was different was that Hector actually did get exonerated.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mhm.
he didn't get exonerated until he didn't get acquitted before he died. They had to do that post-mortem in the comics. He actually got off in the show, but then was murdered on the courthouse steps like he was in the comics.
Nope, he was murdered just in the streets.
Oh, was it in the streets?
In Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because one of the
Yeah, it was it was one of the Punisher cops. It was that dude. I forget his name, but one of the Punisher cops. One that was harassing Matt.
Nope, it wasn't Powell.
It wasn't Powell.
It was the one. It was the one that you hate.
Oh, it was North. They had North kill Hector. What the?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about that real quick. Quick. I am pissed. I am pissed about that. That is the one thing I am heated. I am fucking heated because Chip Zdarsky had the Daredevil run. He had one of the most recent ones. Currently, Solid Ahmed is on Daredevil. Zdarsky was on the run right before, and his run was absolutely phenomenal. Lasted a couple of years. Was really, really good. He did a lot of great things. Like he brought Daredevil and Elektra back together. He let Elektra become Daredevil, which has still stuck around, which is great. But one of the best things that he introduced was a character by the name of Detective Cole North from Chicago. He transfers over to the NYPD because he thinks New York cops are soft and incompetent because they like go easy on vigilantes and shit. This dude was so anti-mask that he straight up gets into a street fight with Matt and beats his ass. But then he realizes, well shit, our mayor's the fucking kingpin? Fuck this guy. He quits the force, becomes a private detective, and essentially kind of becomes like the Jim Gordon for Matt with his connections of people that are still on the force. And it's really fun and interesting. And he's still very anti-mask, but he like reluctantly helps Matt. This Cole North is a character that would never do any of this shit that this character is doing.
It's clearly one of those in name only.
Yeah, they just I feel like they got a mandate saying they got to include this character in because this character is popular right now. And at the time where they were creating the show, they're like, this character's super popular. Comic fans will like it when they did this. But they had already developed the Punisher cop storyline, so they kind of just threw him in there just because. And that pisses me off because like North is a great character, and I know what you're saying, but Jay, you know, he could have a redemption arc or whatever, and like. No, it's already ruined. And and he's not dead. No, they confirmed that he didn't. He wasn't one of the ones that got by Frank. So he's he's not dead.
I feel like he would have before the Hector reveal.
Yeah.
There was a chance for him to be redeemed.
But he killed Hector, so no. I am interested, and I'm also interested on what they're gonna do with Ava.
That's Angela. That's Angela.
See, the thing that confuses me, right, and the reason I say Ava instead of Angela, the thing that confuses me is she's so fucking young. Angela is the same age as the cop, whose name also happens to be Angela, the Asian one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Detective Kim.
Yeah, Detective Kim. Literally her role in the comics is played by Angela Del Toro in the comics.
Yeah, and okay, so I kind of kind of merge Angela and Ava together.
Yeah, that's what they did, and I'm saying that's what confuses me because like, it's also weird because like Angela is older than Ava, right? Angela's older than Ava, but because because Ava is Hector's little sister, whereas Angela is the daughter of Hector's older sister, who is the oldest in the family. Angela is actually Ava's niece, even though Ava is 10 years younger than Angela.
Yes.
It's a whole complicated mess. But yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
But point is, with all of those shenanigans, they're not going to include Ava, which I think was the smartest move.
Yeah, they just merged it into one character, and then they gave the thing that is really weird though. I don't know why they did it, and I don't think they realized that they did it. Is that like Detective Kim's first name is Angela? They call her Angie. So that's super confusing because like she's got the same role as Angela, but Angela is a whole other character now.
The weird thing is if you notice, slowly towards the end, Angie Kim.
Yeah, is at the bar. Yeah, is at the bar.
Yeah, but also as the show is going on, she's getting gray streaks in her hair. So I googled it, and people are wondering what's going on. And the number one theory that's going on is if she's like a mutant, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
No,
Angie Kim is not a comic character.
No, like I said, Angie Kim is a pastiche of Angela Del Toro.
Yeah.
She's
And
just
also-
that character, but not actually related to Hector.
and also you could get gray hairs just through stress.
And I mean, she's been going.
I know.
You saw the heist. That was a pretty stressful fucking time.
On top of
Also,
And the blackout that
working
happened
for
too.
Fisk.
And also the blackout as well. You gotta remember, she's probably one of the cops that was working during the blackout.
and also she was forced to work with Fisk.
Yep.
Mhm.
But yeah. So
And then the shit that happened with her boss.
the
Yeah.
other thing, I do kind of wish that we actually got to see the White Tiger amulet in action. That's the only thing that I'm kind of upset about. And also, I wish they had like put more effort into Hector's costume.
Oh yeah.
Hector's costume was super lame. Now I'm not.
Yeah.
I never thought the White Tiger outfit was like the coolest thing ever in the comics, but like this version of it looked lame as fuck.
Mhm.
Needs a bit
Kind-
more pizzazz.
Yeah. I did hear somewhere that supposedly there's a deleted scene in episode 4 when the amulet starts to glow around
Angela.
Angela.
Yeah, I heard of that too.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
I want to see Angela using the powers. Especially because like the White Tiger god is a god of fear, and you know, with how, especially with the trauma that Angela has gone through with the whole Muse thing,
Mm-hmm.
that could definitely come into play and make her a much more like aggressive White Tiger, very much akin to the Angela of the comics when she first got her powers.
Yeah.
Yep. And I could see that aggression. Like if they wanted to go, they don't have to. But if they wanted to go this route, I could see that personality working well, like opposite of the more optimistic young heroes like Kamala and Kate.
Yep.
Which, speaking of,
Yeah. That okay.
Yup.
The heist. Let's just talk about it. The heist episode was my favorite episode of the season.
same.
I
Honestly.
love that shit. I
Yes.
love that shit. Also, shout out to random fucking Irishman bank robber dude.
Yeah, Green.
He fucking killed that shit.
Yeah, it was Devlin.
I loved his back and forth, and I loved just like, wait, you're blind and an orphan. Jesus Christ, you're like a wee
There you
Dickens character, ain't you?
Mm-hmm. And then talking with Angie. You know what? If you make me laugh,
Oh, that joke was hilarious. The fuck the
Yes.
penguin. She also did a great Irish accent too. Also,
yeah.
talk about great Irish accents. Yo, Matt killed that shit.
Charlie Cox is a British actor.
Oh yeah,
Who
yeah.
A British actor playing an American, putting on an Irish accent.
Yep.
You know what's the crazy? Charlie's first role was playing an Irishman.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh.
Yeah, and you know what's the crazy thing about that particular episode?
Hmm.
Because it runs like a typical heist film,
Yeah, yeah.
and Devlin is just one of Luca's guys.
Yep.
And Luca, that motherfucker was just being
He was stupid.
Acting-
He was stupid. He was stupid. He was
Yeah,
just-
he it's like he had a death wish.
like you've been working with Fisk for years. You really try to play with this man or that man's wife?
like, you are acting so out of pocket, man. But the in that
The real star of the show for that episode is our man Yusuf Khan.
Use it.
And I
Love
love his interaction with Matt because he's talking about Miss Marvel. He's like, she has her own special Funko Pop, and he goes, it's right. Oh right, you're blind.
It looks so good. Oh right.
which is a real product, by the way.
I know.
I would buy it. I would buy it.
But I also like him just acting like a proud dad.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, he should be proud.
Yeah,
He's talking
Kamala's great. She's the only good thing coming out of the Captain Marvel IP.
Also, I like the fact that given what happened with the Marvels and what happened in Miss Marvel, that you can see that Yusuf is somewhat good under pressure. I mean, he's still just
But
he is better under pressure.
And also,
than-
he's getting more used to it because like he definitely puts together that Matt's Daredevil by the end.
think so.
Oh
yeah.
no! I'm thinking this is what I kind of took away from the whole situation. He's like, he's stressed out, like, oh god, I'm just the assistant big manager, and this shit happens while I'm on shift. Why?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then just having like, what kind of lawyer was I talking to?
A
He
good
just
one.
wanted an extension on his loan, which I couldn't give him, and I had to help through this heist. What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But that scene gave me flashbacks to No Way Home.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Also, he mentions that Kamala's in California, so definitely like her recruiting the Young Avengers.
Probably, yeah.
Because we know Kate's in California.
But also at the
Cassie's
end
in
there, he said they've gotta all eat together. So Daredevil and Miss Marvel.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's going to be hilarious. And I heard that it'd be kind of funny to have Matt mentor the youths, like the youths of the MCU.
Which is accurate to Matt because he did mentor Pete when Pete first started. Well,
Also Blind Spot.
granted, he did not know that Pete was just a kid, but like when he and Pete became friends, and like they realized each other's secret identity, was like, wait a minute, you're like 16. He goes, yeah, dude. So, because what the fuck? You were able to kick my ass. Yeah. All right.
Which
You're
was
blind?
that also that scene in Friendly Neighborhood where they had that fight.
Yep.
And the weird thing is the way that it's looking. If you believe this and you believe that that concept art that's totally not real, that the mentors for the Young Avengers are going to be Daredevil and Star-Lord.
Yeah. That generation, Gen Z in the Marvel universe, Gen Z in the MCU is fucked. Oh
Dude.
man,
And
poor Gen Z.
if I have to hazard a guess, fucking Matt has to be like either like the in between of a Gen X or millennial.
No, Matt is definitely an older millennial. I believe he's probably more. He's even more like on the older millennial end of the spectrum. He feels like
Yeah.
he's in his like mid 30s at the latest.
So put him close to Brian's age,
Yeah.
which, oh dear God, Matt is like us, real for real.
Oh yeah.
Don't know if like character equals actor age, but Charlie Cox is 42.
Really good for his age.
Yeah, he does look really
Yes.
good for his age. But yeah, so the heist episode was probably my favorite episode of the entire fucking
Oh yeah,
season. It was
indeed.
great.
Also, the brutal ass beating Matt gave Devlin.
Oh my god.
Bro can never walk again.
Nope. He is.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's gonna be using the cane for life.
Like there are two truths in this like show / universe.
Daredevil subscribes.
You know that
Daredevil subscribes to the Bruce Wayne school of thought.
yeah,
I won't kill you, but I will maim the fuck out of you.
yeah, and also this show sticks to the same truths as the original Daredevil. If Matt's covering his face or Kingpin is wearing white, you know shit's about to go down.
Also, you better not catch this motherfucker in the hallway.
Yep.
If you catch this motherfucker in the hallway, you kiss your sweet ass goodbye.
Just get the ass beat of a lifetime.
Make peace with your maker then and there.
Also, just the convenience that it was red.
Right? Oh, that was great.
Mhm.
That was great.
And speaking of brutality, sweet baby Jesus, Wilson.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That poor...
Commissioner Gallows.
Yo. Like, Gallows didn't deserve all that shit. Like, he was just doing his job. He was actually very good at his job. He crushed his head like a fucking walnut, bro.
No, he crushed it like a melon.
Shit was
Like
crazy.
he crushed
He
crushed that head, and-
he crushed his head like the way I want my head crushed by Emma Frost's thighs.
Uh-huh.
I was just about to make a similar joke. I was gonna say he got his head crushed like that watermelon trend with all the Twitch thoughts.
Oh yeah.
But
Man,
damn.
that was yeah. We thought that that fucking car door scene from the original Netflix Daredevil show was intense. Jesus.
No, it's crushing.
That was
Yeah.
baby mode compared to that.
Yep. And you just
Yeah.
see the like faces of all the people that did in front of.
Yo, the Punisher cops were unfazed by that shit too. They were just like, cool.
Some of them were,
I mean-
but some of them were freaked out.
They also gave they beat the bricks out of poor old Frank.
Yo, and also
Yo.
I gotta say, dude, John Bernthal is the shit.
Yeah.
I love his speech. I love his speech because this is the shit that I was saying in real life when the Punisher cop thing was happening, like in real time in real life. Because if you folks don't know and you don't keep up with like nerd adjacent comic news, there was like a whole trend of these like rogue cops like that were like notorious for excessive force and police brutality getting these like Punisher skull tattoos or having the Punisher decal on their fucking cars and shit. And
Yeah.
I along with the creator of the Punisher himself, Jerry Conway, said that like if Frank knew about this in real life, he would kill all of you. Because the thing about Frank is you can't be a cop and then like also endorse Frank's whole thing. Because Frank is the result of the system being broken. You can't be part of the system and then support Frank's ideology. That's a complete contradiction. You don't understand at all the reason why he's doing it. Now, granted, I am one of those people who has never thought of Frank Castle as hero. Frank Castle, out and out, will always be a villain in my eyes. Straight up. Like, I know what you guys are gonna say. No, Jay, he's an anti-hero. Now, he's a fucking villain. He just murders people indiscriminately. Yes, they're bad people, but he's still murdering people. Like, he started off as a straight up villain. So, in my opinion, Frank will always be a villain. He's a villain with a slight moral compass.
Yeah, but he also knows it.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I respect Frank, because Frank knows what he is. He doesn't try to pretend like he's a good guy. He is not. And like that speech where he's just like, do you think you understand how I see the world? Why I do this shit? No. You guys are all just a bunch of fucking clowns, and I would not piss on you if you were on fire. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Fuck all of you. Like,
And-
oh my god, John Bernthal killed that shit.
Yeah, and you want to talk about John Bernthal. John Bernthal, Charlie Cox, their dynamic is so good.
Oh, it's spot on to the comics. I love that. Also, like, I don't know how y'all felt, but I never liked the Karen Frank thing. I don't know how to feel about it, but I do like Matt teasing Karen about it. It was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not
Or-
personally a fan of that shit. But I'm also glad that they moved away from Karen and Matt. Although they did slightly hint at it a little bit, but you know.
Like, at that moment where she, like, kisses him on the cheek, I thought for sure
Yep.
they're actually gonna kiss. And I'm like, don't do that.
And also in the moment where, like, you know, again, right after he teased Frank, she teased Karen. He teased Karen around Frank. She's like, "Well, did you hear my heartbeat when I saw you?" And I was like, "Oh, damn it, Karen! Don't do this again! God damn it, Karen!" But also, like, this also just reminded me how much I miss the original cast. I love Deborah Ann Wolfe as Karen.
Yeah.
Karen's great. I also love that
Yeah.
Karen is just done with all of Matt's bullshit.
Yep.
She's just like, Matt, let me help you. Foggy was my friend too. Let me get in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I've talked about it before. I don't know if we've mentioned it in the podcast, but my personal theory, I don't think Foggy's dead. I think
Yeah, we've talked about it off camera.
yeah, I think Foggy faked his death, just like he did in the comics. And, like, it's gonna end up leading into a version of Shadowland where, like, Daredevil ends up beating the Kingpin, but then becoming the Kingpin. And Foggy's gonna have to come back and be like, Matt, no, don't do this. And he's gonna come back.
Well, I mean, he does end it in the black suit.
Yep. And he's starting to amass an army of peoples.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you talk about people that might know who he is.
Josie,
I think.
Josie definitely already knew.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think Josie knows and just doesn't care.
Yeah, Josie doesn't give a shit. Like,
That's just the classic bartender right there.
because, like, I guarantee you Matt has accidentally said something while drunk or something. Bartender confident. Bartenders are better than therapists. Bartenders and cab drivers, they will take your secrets to the grave.
Well, also the whole thing of he left without his cane.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't
Yeah.
notice.
Yep. Oh, man.
Fucking Cherry, dude.
I love Cherry. Cherry's great. I hope we get to see more of Cherry.
Yeah.
I think we will.
Uh,
I tell you one new character that kind of pissed me off. I get it, but also kind of pissed me off.
Uh-huh.
BB.
she doesn't piss me off. She
I
doesn't
said
piss.
kinda.
She didn't piss me off at all. Like, cause like, it's more of a like, they're biding their time. Like, you want to talk about a character in the that age bracket that pisses me off. Fucking Daniel.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel
Act
is
it.
like the epitome of like a tater tot,
That fucking kiss ass weak little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
which is it's so funny to think about the IRL actor.
What have we?
You know who that is.
Have we seen him in something?
He's been in one other thing. It's James Gandolfini's son.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
The only other thing that he's been in was he was in the Sopranos movie that came out recently, where he
Oh,
played a young version of his dad.
got you, huh? But yeah, fuck him. I don't like him. Now that we're getting more into the negative, let's finally address the elephant in the room. My goodness, Heather, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I kind of get her overall storyline. I see the progression of the madness, but my god, after like one traumatic incident with a masked criminal, not a vigilante.
Like she's on her J. Jonah Jameson shit, bro.
Yeah. Also,
Because
can I
like,
just
uh-huh.
can I just point out that after seeing you as a therapist, one client became a mass murderer, and then another one like grew closer as evil couple. Are you even good at your job?
Maybe you're too
Yeah.
good. Maybe you're too good at your job, but for the wrong reason.
Mhm.
Like, bro, somebody needs to
And yet
revoke her license, dude.
you're supposed to be so good at this therapy, yet you don't notice that
I-
you're dating Daredevil.
Yeah, that's one of
Yeah.
that's one of my least favorite tropes that like have existed in comics since time immemorial. You know, the Lois Lane trope, the love interest that is this like, you know, high level professional, but is somehow an oblivious dumbass all at the same time.
Yeah. And you would really think that Heather would kind of clock a few things wrong with Matt. I mean, she was on the verge of figuring it out herself.
You would also think that, like, because it's weird, right? Like, as much as I value the secret identity as a fundamental bedrock of, like, you know, superhero storytelling, right? The MCU is not very good at letting people keep their secret identities.
Yeah.
And
Well, there.
and they very much like follow a more logical thing. Most people who spend enough time with the masked individual like in their regular life eventually figure it out. Ned figured it out. MJ figured it out. You're telling me two
Yeah.
teenagers could piece that shit together, but you, a whole ass professional with multiple degrees, best-selling
Yeah.
books, you're a
Also,
And you're
You don't
about
you
vigilante.
don't understand. Sorry.
Like your next book, from what your editor wants you to do, you want to do it on vigilante? Come on, now.
yeah.
Come on.
Also,
Don't give me
you
that
don't
shit.
you don't understand the whole concept that maybe these vigilantes don't want their identity publicly known because they don't want to endanger the people that didn't sign up for this.
I mean, I don't know, Heather. You met Matt around the time when his best friend Foggy was murdered.
And you're going to side with the man who is just talking a lot of shit that his
And also, like I
bro
know,
checks out.
I know Fisk is your client, bro. But like also, you've been dating Matt for a good amount of time now. So Matt has probably told you, obviously not about the Daredevil stuff, but like about his run-ins with Fisk as a lawyer, because you know the Daredevil Netflix stuff is canon. So Matt helped put Fisk away as a lawyer.
You've seen the news?
So you know that he's a corrupt son of a bitch.
And yet you believe in him saying, "Oh, vigilante bad."
I will change this city and clear them
Because
of
you were forced
vigilantes.
to kill a mass
And I get
murderer?
it. And I get it. That's traumatic. But that was not a vigilante. That was a mass, like Tony said, that was a mass criminal. Big
Yeah.
difference. J. Jonah
Yes.
And
Jameson.
look, whole Muse thing. I don't know about you guys.
Muse
but
was underwhelming as fuck.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I was sad. He was like,
2 episodes. I thought he was gonna be at least like the villain for this half. Like,
yeah.
he is such a menacing presence in the
dude,
comics.
in the comics, Matt couldn't even defeat him. He killed himself. Like,
Here's the thing about that. The thing that kind of like annoys me is that they gave Muse an identity.
yeah, that also
And
that also pisses me off because it also kind of it takes the teeth away from him as well, because like it gives him this kind of like semi-sympathetic type of backstory, like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
he's just supposed to be a random evil asshole who likes to murder people and turn their blood into art.
Like, it would be like if,
Like, are you trying to tell me Jeffrey Dahmer had like? Well, there are people that try to tell me that Jeffrey Dahmer actually had.
But-
let me take that one back.
it's kind of similar. It's kind of a similar vein going to the fictional universe about like why we don't really like the whole Jack Napier thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
even to a like a real life example. Like, you know, nobody gives a fuck about Richard Ramirez. He's just an evil son of a bitch.
And look, Muse had a purpose in the Charles Soule comics, right?
Yeah.
He was used as a vehicle to basically be this Banksy-inspired mass murdering artist who did things for the thrill of art and expression. I mean, he blinded a man.
And also like dude is so evil that he literally went to hell and is currently possessing a young artist who he's like mentoring as an apprentice, and is like they're currently fighting against Elektra, and they're having like Elektra and Johnny Blaze are teaming up to try and save that girl's soul in this current fucking Daredevil miniseries that I'm reading. It's cool as shit. But that's how
Nice.
awesome Muse is, like, in the comics.
Because it also kind of
This Muse
like
was
I know
really
this is,
lackluster.
I know this this aspect, like overall, is more nitpicky. But also, I didn't like the fact that he didn't have multiple mediums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And also,
Muse in the comics, like, will like use entrails as like scenery art and like just do various different shit. Like he's not just blood.
He doesn't just do paintings. He does like you know, displays or like art installation type shit and sculpting and yeah.
he was a multifaceted artist of destruction and mayhem and murder. But
Mm-hmm.
then we have this, giving him a name, giving him a motivation, which you can kind of stretch and squint at and say maybe he was possessed by the spirit of Muse itself,
Like
whatever the fuck that means.
it just feels like well, what I like to call Wolverine syndrome.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is like Wolverine was really cool when you didn't know shit about Wolverine.
Uh-huh.
Now we know way too much about Wolverine. Now, granted, I'm a nerd. I like knowing lore about characters. But I will admit, knowing all this shit about Jim takes away the lore of and the
That makes
mystique
Jim cool.
of Jim. The fact that I can call him Jim makes him less cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like I was
and
saying
the-
with the whole Jack Napier thing,
Yeah.
it's, for those that don't know, talking about Joker, it's a more of a menacing presence when you don't know anything about them.
Which, to be fair, Jack Napier was always just an alias. That's never been confirmed to be his actual name.
Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't it that in the Jack Nicholson one?
In the Jack Nicholson movie, yes. But
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I was talking about the comics because like in the comics it's been used as an alias quite a few times, and like he took it as his name in like the Batman White Knight in the alternate universe, but yeah, it's never been his name has never been revealed. Thank God they've never actually given the Joker a name.
But in the Jack Nicholson one, that was his actual name, and that he was an actual person. And that's why even just recently on the podcast, we were talking about how we didn't really care for the Jack Nicholson version of the Joker.
Although there was a really funny, or it wasn't funny because it was still really fucked up. There's a really interesting Legend of the Dark Knight story where Batman quits being Batman until the Joker actually starts to go sane for a little bit, and he loses his memories, and so like when he puts together his new identity, like subconsciously. His new name is Joseph Kerr.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Joe Kerr.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh my God, it's great. But yeah.
And also, given another comparison, that's why I like the Joker film itself, giving him the name of Arthur.
Yeah.
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 And that's why a lot of people like miss the point about the Joker and why the Joker should never have gotten a sequel. Because again, it lost all the mystique.
Like you know, I do think that the Joker, given the way that they set it up, it could have gotten a sequel, but the sequel shouldn't have starred Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
It should have starred another person taking up the Joker.
Exactly. But yeah, back to Daredevil though. Let's talk about more positive. Let's talk about more positive now. Vanessa was the shit. Vanessa was the shit. I love Vanessa. Yeah. Holy shit. She was so good. Like, Vanessa, as we talked about before, Vanessa in every other adaptation is kind of just like a helpless ingenue. She's either, just sick and on her deathbed with this mysterious illness, so Wilson has to do anything and everything to try and cure her of this random sickness, or she's just constantly crying and begging Wilson, please stop doing what you're doing, leave this life so we can just live a normal life and be happy together. Wilson.
But in this one,
no, but this Vanessa, she said, "Oh, word, we're gonna run the underworld. Bet, say less. I got it."
Like, you could tell that she was in it from day one.
She's a down-ass bitch. And I also love that the problems that Vanessa has isn't necessarily with Wilson. It's more so that, like, Wilson didn't trust her. And then they didn't talk like rational people. You know, it's our least favorite trope. Just communicate. Talk.
Yeah.
And once they actually had a chance to sit down and talk, look at them. They're fucking killing it. Literally.
Because I think also the thing with her is that she legit missed the crime.
Yeah, and also she missed him, and he never told her shit about anything. So yeah, no wonder she went and fucked that other guy. Poor Daniel. Daniel didn't deserve that.
No, Adam.
Adam. Yeah, Daniel's the name of fucking Wilson's lackey, Wilson's butt monkey. My bad. Yeah, Adam.
But anyway,
was the guy that he had in the prison, and she double tapped that motherfucker. Holy shit.
Yeah, because we also found out that Wilson was evil from episode 1. He wasn't reformed.
Yep.
He was just hiding it really well.
And
hiding it so well that he was not talking to partner about it.
And that was the thing that pissed Vanessa off, because she was like, I like doing crime. Why we gotta be so squeaky clean and shit? I don't like this. Fuck that. And when
are you a good guy now?
And then when she found out that like he had Adam in that guy, she was like, oh word, okay, so you're still the Wilson I love. Bet. Let me see that gun.
Also, and he told her about the whole, I know about everything, and I've been using it this whole time.
Oh my god. So
like that whole twist with the whole thing about her playing Foggy, because Foggy was close to
oh, that was so good. The fact that it was Vanessa and not Wilson was such a good swerve, but it made a lot of sense with how they were building up Vanessa to be this queen pin.
Yeah.
And how good she is at it. Like, she's really fucking good.
Yeah, and she basically...
Like, Willie's underlings respect her more than they do him now.
Well, the crime ones.
Yeah.
Because Buck, we want to talk about a good lackey.
Yo, Buck... I thought Wesley was a good right-hand man, and rest in peace, Wesley. But Buck is really taking that mantle.
Although I will say that it is kind of interesting because the way that you look at the last episode and the way that they're framing things, Buck might be turncoat.
He does feel
No. Buck's a ride for die.
no.
Kinda
I don't
lacking.
know.
All right, so explain your logic it out for us, Brian. Let's hear you out on this one.
Like the whole once they revealed that it was like the whole taking over the city, and he saw how brutal Fisk could actually be, because especially in that final scene where it shows all the smaller players under Fisk, and he looks worried, and he looks
I think he's more worried.
not happy.
I think he's more worried that he could possibly be expendable, more so than he's gonna turn coat on Wilson.
But,
I think
when I say turncoat, I don't mean he's gonna become fully a good guy. I
But-
just mean that
I still don't think he'd betray Wilson. I think he's just afraid that Wilson's gonna go too far and then find no use for him anymore and then kill his ass.
Yeah, he's just looking things like, oh shit, my life might be on the line here if I don't fuck up.
nah,
as-
I feel you.
Especially because he had Wilson is kind of grooming a replacement for him in Daniel. When you really look at
Yeah.
it, that's what I think he's
Yeah.
afraid of.
Also,
Yeah,
another
You want to talk?
Another
You want to
person.
talk about a person that's gonna betray Wilson? It's fucking Sheila.
yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I did not expect
Huh?
her to turn in the commissioner.
Yeah, she was the one that led him to his doom,
Yeah.
dude.
To his fucking
Yeah.
watermelon head crushing. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sheila's gonna betray him 100%. Writing's on the wall. She's scared as fuck. She did not know that she was stepping this deep into the crime pool.
And unfortunately,
But,
Sheila, it's gonna be very hard to exonerate yourself from this shit.
Yep, she is.
Because
No,
she's
I don't
been-
think Sheila's getting out of part 2 alive.
No, she's not. She's not.
No.
I don't think so either.
But you know who is just a menace to society? Fucking Poindexter.
right?
Good old bullseye.
Right? Holy shit, man. But side note, before we jump into final thoughts and ratings, I do have a question for you guys. So, do you guys think that Wilson will be deposed by the end of season 2?
I think so.
Cause he has to be, right? Cause otherwise,
Yeah.
how are they
Mhm.
gonna have all this anti-vigilante stuff and still have Spider-Man roaming around?
Yeah.
I mean, timeline-wise, this takes place in April of 2027.
Yeah.
So, this last stand will be happening in mid-2027. Give or
Okay.
take.
Yeah.
So, given timeline-wise, I think good old Spider-Man might be aces.
Okay, cool. But yeah, okay. So final thoughts and ratings. I'll start. Shit. Maybe I'm just highballing everything. Maybe I've gone soft. But I love Daredevil. Fucking 9.5, dude. I have complaints and I have things that really piss me off. But in the grand scheme of things, all of those just come from the fact that I love the character, and these little nitpicks are really annoying to me. But at the end of the day, looking at it more objectively, there's nothing. It's not major enough for me to be able to take a whole point and bring it to a 9, because this shit had me hooked from day one. Normally I will wait for the show to finish and then binge it. I could not wait for this show. Back when we used to record on Tuesdays, as soon as we got off the call, I would turn on the episode and watch.
No, I feel you.
This was my shit, and I cannot wait for more. 9.5 out of 10. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I really liked it. It definitely keeps up the quality of the original in its own thing, and
But also bring some new twists to it.
yeah, that's what I meant by being its own thing. But and I really liked it overall. But for me, yeah, the nitpicks were just picked a little bit harder, and the negatives were just a little bit more for me personally. Maybe it's because I'm not as ride or die with Daredevil before the Netflix stuff like you were. But in the end, though, still, despite this I'm gonna give it a straight 9.
All right, cool. Tony?
Hmm. Yeah, I have a lot of my own like personal gripes and criticisms because I pretty much lay them out there on the table. But I'm with you, Jay. This is a 9.5 show. It's just good, excellent, even.
And honestly, like for me, right? Like the nitpicks that I have, honestly, the reason I have nitpicks is because like I'm so invested in the show, and if your complaints about the show only make you want more, those are good complaints to have.
Oh my god. I just realized something.
What's that?
We literally just copied the ratings of last episode.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. Because last episode was Y2K. Yeah, right. And me and Tony both gave that a 9.5.
And I gave it a 9.
That's funny. We did not do this on purpose, I swear.
Yep, our brain cells are not the same.
These aren't.
We swear.
These aren't scripted. This is all completely off the cuff. You should tell because we always talk over each other. If it was scripted, we wouldn't be talking over each other all the time.
Yeah.
And do you really think any of us would have the time to write a script?
Yeah.
Hell no.
No, we definitely do not. But
especially now that we're all working men.
Yep. But anyways, without further ado, this has been an episode of the Channel Touches podcast. We hope you guys have enjoyed this. So Brian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The way you were wording it.
I was getting there, y'all. Let me edge before I finish, dog. Hold on.
All right, just you switched up the wording this week and it made us.
I know what I was doing. I know. Just because I don't have a script doesn't mean I can't improvise. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Keep it in here though, Tony, because that was funny. Back to what I was saying. We hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Channel Touches podcast. Daredevil was fantastic, but now, Brian, why don't you tell the lovely folks at home where we'll be going after we depart from Hell's Kitchen?
Well, we're keeping with the mess, but we're heading from Hell's Kitchen all the way overseas to Thailand. We are going to be talking about the latest season of The White Lotus.
And it'll be a very interesting episode because this series is an anthology, so technically me and Tony only have to watch the 3rd season. If you guys have been following the podcast for a bit, Brian has actually watched the first 2. So you'll get a perspective of people who've only seen the 3rd season and someone who's watched all 3. So, to prepare for the episode, get your HBO Max or borrow somebody's password. Do whatever you got to do. We're not going to judge you here. But until then, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.